Oklahoma's Republican Party claims to be pro-freedom, but is currently pushing a bill so extreme that it would make even sending a sexy selfie to your partner illegal if you're not married. Wow. Oklahoma Senate Bill 1976 would make viewing obscene materials a felony while restricting what is called unlawful porn distribution and production, with enforcement possible through both criminal prosecution and private lawsuits, and make it a misdemeanor to pose for, exhibit, or publish what they consider to be unlawful porn. Now, what is that? Well, the bill defines it, or redefines pornography to include a very broad array of adult activities that would, under this legislation, become subject to criminal prosecution. Wow. So now, this was filed by State Senator Dusty Beavers. I keep wanting to say Dusty Beavers. I don't know why. Might have something to do with
sexual anarchy.
It sounds like a porn name, which is ironic. Now, this guy, though, also put forth legislation to repeal no-fault divorce. So this is where this guy is coming from. And his bill attempts to create a new category of largely prohibited content called unlawful pornography. Now, his measure defines it as any visual depiction or individual image stored or contained in any format, on any medium, including, but not limited to, film, motion picture, videotape, photograph, negative, undeveloped film, slide, yes, even a slide, photographic product, reproduction of a photographic product, you know, so in case you want to hand draw it, can't hand draw the boobies either, play or performance when the depiction involves basically any sort of sex act, nudity, partial nudity, or sexual fetish. Wow. Unlawful depictions include intercourse, which is normal or perverted, along with oral, anal, or masturbation. Okay, wow. Also included, there's more, any lewd exhibition of the uncovered genitals, buttocks, or if such person is female, the breast. For the purpose of sexual stimulation of the viewer, any depiction of physical restraints, such as binding or fettering, in the context of sexual conduct, and the undefined category, sadomasochistic abuse. Someone has been on the Google, okay? Someone's been Googling lots of porn. I'm sure that's just for research purposes, though. Oh, yes. But look, there is a lot there, but we're not done yet. No. This unlawful porn definition is so broad that it could even include partnered or solo porn photos and videos. So there's your OnlyFans, possibly even erotic drawings, strip clubs, burlesque, drag, depictions of domination, and more. All of this unlawful porn would be off limits to produce or distribute unless it was deemed to have serious literary, artistic, educational, political, or scientific purposes or value. Now, if you think this is only going to take on the big production companies and websites, no, that's not at all. As I mentioned, OnlyFans in their Pornhub. But, you know, part of that's, again, it could reach adult models, individual performers in videos, and even someone sending someone who was not their spouse a picture of their butt. That's right. Take a photo of your butt, and you could be a felon. Wow. Now, how is this going to be enforced? Again, that's a lot. How are they going to enforce this law? Because it's very, very invasive and very broad. Well, they're going to use basically Texas as a blueprint, which is not good. So they're using something like Texas abortion bounty law. SB 76 would be partially enforced by private lawsuits. Any person other than an officer or employee of a state or local governmental entity in the state could bring a civil action against anyone they think has produced or distributed unlawful porn, knowingly aided and abetted its production or distribution, or intends to do so. Those found guilty, this is the punishment here, could be liable for statutory damages of $10,000 for every image or depiction, plus injunctive relief sufficient to prevent the defendant from violating this section, and the court costs and attorney fees of the person who sued. That is a lot. That is a huge punishment. Now, that said, so you get taken to court, and say you win. Say somebody just takes you in there because they think that you're doing this unlawful porn, that you accidentally or sent a picture of your booty to your partner, right? And they're like, caught you, got it. But it turns out that it wasn't. Maybe it was like, your elbows together, Whatever. You win the suit for whatever reason. Well, if you win, turns out you will not be able to recover court costs and attorney fees from the person who sued you. So you're still left holding the bag. So, and the other side is, these people can sue anyone or any entity under this law and then lose and still leave you with the bill. Wow. Now, that's just the civil stuff. The proposed law also would deploy criminal enforcement. Under SB 1976, it would be a crime to buy, produce, view, or possess any of what they consider obscene materials. So if you're an adult, you want to look at some racy photos online, congratulations, you're a criminal. Along with, if your girlfriend sends you a sexy photo of her butt, knowingly, well, now you're both criminals. Because you viewed it and she sent it. Even though you're both adults in a consenting relationship, doesn't matter. You are criminals under Oklahoma law. If this gets passed, of course. In fact, the buying, procuring, viewing, possessing offense would be a felony punishable by up to 20 years in prison or a fine of up to $25,000. So distributing any unlawful pornography that lacks serious literary, artistic, educational, political, or scientific purposes or value. The bill would also make it a misdemeanor crime to act in, pose for, model for, print, sell, offer for sale, give away, exhibit, publish, offer to publish, or otherwise distribute, display, or exhibit content featuring unlawful pornography. Doing so would be punishable by up to 1 year in county jail or by a fine of not less than $2,000. These are very serious penalties for people doing what people do all the time. Make no mistake, what this is a crackdown on personal freedom and liberty. It is also unconstitutional, as the First Amendment does protect pornography. Now, of course, there are exceptions to that, obviously, and the exceptions make sense. For example, it's not protected if it depicts anyone under the age of 18. Okay, well, that makes sense, of course. Now, the First Amendment does not protect obscenity. Now, obscenity, however, that's a little bit more loosely defined, right? But for the most part, adult pornography is considered to be protected by the Constitution, by the First Amendment. That said, that could change. And I think this is the real reason behind these laws, right? That are being passed in not just Oklahoma, but in other states. They're trying to push this as well. You see, Republicans like Devers, they're pushing this because of the Heritage Foundation. What do you mean? Heritage Foundation's Project 2025 would go after pornography. In fact, President Kevin D. Roberts writes in the documents forward that it should be outlawed and that the people who produce and distribute it should be imprisoned. So that's just on that. And by the way, part of this is to go after the LGBTQ community for just existing, because they're also redefining what obscene is, what pornography is, to include just being a transgender person. Okay, so that's part of it. The other part is, of course, to crack down on what they consider to be moral decay, right? They've long gone after pornography. They've long gone after, of course, people, being in committed relationships but are not married. So unmarried couples, and so of course they hit, unmarried couples as well for sharing photos online of each other, doing sexting, anything like that. And so this Project 2025, though, again, takes it further and would actually at least allow these bills to not be challenged. I know the Constitution, the First Amendment, but again, if the president controls the DOJ, president controls all these different agencies, they're not going to get involved in stopping these states. They're not going to sue these states to prevent these laws from actually being enforced. So there's that. Look, if Republicans take control of the government, it's going to be a massive crackdown on your personal life and anything related to sex that they don't agree with. They're not pro-freedom. They're not pro-small government. You can see from their legislation, they're trying to run your life. That's it. They're trying to run your lives. And if they don't get the, if they're not able to run your life in the way that they please, then they're going to throw you in prison, which is going to help the private prison industry as well. And it's going to scare everyone else. Look, they're punishing people for doing probably the most normal thing imaginable, which is actually enjoying the human body, sex, and depictions of sex. And so that's who these people are. They are obsessed with getting into your bedroom and controlling your sex life, controlling, especially if you're a woman, controlling you as a person, taking away your personhood, and turning you into an object to be controlled by the state. That's who they are. And bills like this show them, expose them, for lack of a better word, for who they are.